tend to talk a lot about how to get over stuff, but rarely do someone speak on how to live with them. I've met so many people in my life, friends, family, including myself, who struggle with grief. And so far, what I understand is that grief isn't the absence of someone, it's the presence of them in the wrong timeline. Like they still exist for us, just not here. Not in the version of life where you get to call them or fight with them or laugh with them or get annoyed by them. They're somewhere else now and you're stuck being the person who remembers. Grief, for the most part, is sadness, but not entirely. It's also confusion. It's like walking into a room and forgetting what you came for, except it's your life, not a room. You know something is missing, but you can't remember who you were before the absence, so you can't really find the missing part. You don't know what it is. And that's the thing. Memory becomes a form of time travel, but it's one directional. You can go back, but you can't bring anything with you. No touch, no words, just the ache. Grief has a way of turning you into an archaeologist of your own life, digging through the ruins of ordinary moments, trying to make meaning out of something that's no longer living. No one tells you this, but loss rewrites your personality. Not all at once, of course, slowly, but it sneaks into your habits and rearranges the furniture in your mind. You laugh differently, you trust differently, you start collecting people like insurance policies, afraid of more subtraction. Even your joy becomes cautious. Like you're scared to build anything new, knowing it might be taken away without warning. There's no more illusion of permanence, and that changes everything. And that's not even the brutal part. The brutal part is life doesn't stop for you to understand any of this. There's no orientation, no warning. You just wake up in a version of reality where someone you loved is a past tense. And the world expects you to just somehow keep pace, as if time is mercy. I know we say this a lot, even I do myself sometimes, that time heals, give it time. But I don't believe it anymore because time isn't mercy. It's distance, and distance doesn't soften the blow, it just blurs it. Sometimes I wonder if we're meant to carry grief the way we do, like silently, like it's a personal failing to admit how much something still hurts. Back when I didn't experience it, I used to think it would make me more emotional, but it made me quieter. It made me look at people differently, because once you know loss, like really know it, you start to see it in other people's eyes too. You start to notice who's carrying what, even when they never say a word. It teaches you to hear pain that isn't spoken. I think every person who is mourning someone someday comes to the realization, or say it's a sort of epiphany, that grief is not just about missing someone. It's about who you were when they were alive and who you don't know how to be without them. That version of you, the one who called them after good news, the one who sat next to them at dinner, the one who didn't know the weight of this silence, that version is gone too. So you're practically grieving two losses, theirs and your own. And there's a kind of existential loneliness in that. Because you're not just mourning someone else's absence, you're mourning your own unfamiliar reflection in the mirror. You're mourning the security of a life with them where love felt unshakable. And still, the world, it keeps going. People ask how you're doing, but they want the version of the answer that doesn't make them uncomfortable. They want, oh, I'm doing better, I'm doing good, I'm fine. Not, I wake up with dread. Not, I still hear their voice when I try to fall asleep. But over time, you learn to translate your grief into something more palatable. You show up, you smile, you function, and people say you're strong, but you don't actually feel strong. You feel like you're hiding a storm in your chest when everyone else is walking around in clear weather. But Here's what I've started to believe, and I say this very carefully. Grief is not a wound to heal from. It's a companion. It doesn't get smaller, you just learn how to live around it. Some days you carry it like a scar, some days like a shadow, and some days very quietly, very beautifully, like a gift. Because grief, in all its sharpness and cruelty, is proof that something mattered, that someone mattered, that love existed in a way big enough to break you. And what an honor it is to be broken by something so beautiful. What a privilege it is to have loved with such depth. Because trust me, most people are not capable of it. And if I had to choose, I'd rather break from love than live untouched by it. So yeah, maybe that's the point. Not to move on, not to forget, but to let grief carve something honest in you, something tender, something real, even if no one else sees it, even if it's just between you and the silence. And I guess that's where I'm landing tonight. Just sitting with the weight of it, letting it exist without fixing it. Because some losses aren't problems to solve, they're truths you carry. And that's not tragic. That's just being human.